Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I have the honor of sharing a few words today on behalf of those who loved MaryAnne so deeply. Her family, her friends, her colleagues, students, and of course, her beloved son, Nathan. To speak about MaryAnne's life is to speak about kindness and laughter and strength and connection. All of the things that she poured into the people she met. Today, I'd like to share her story as it unfolded through the eyes of those who walked beside her. Across her childhood, her young adulthood, her years as a mentor and counselor, and her most treasured role, that of a mother and grandmother. MaryAnne's brother, John, shared that even with 7 years between them, some of his earliest memories are filled with her energy and her laughter. They grew up on Center Street, where the winters meant sleigh riding down the big hill together, and summers meant crafts at St. Anthony's Playground or swimming at Naog Park. She had a love for play, for joy, and for adventure, the kind of childhood spirit that she never lost. She took John trick-or-treating in costumes their mom made, and he'll tag along to her softball games whenever he could. And she loved sports, especially baseball. And according to John, she was good. She played in the Miss E League and even later joined an adult league in Philadelphia. John remembers that she had such a strong throwing arm that once, when he tried to follow her and her friends to the playground, she threw a rock from the top of the hill to stop him, accidentally splitting his head open and landing him in the ER with 8 stitches. He laughs about it now, saying that it just proved that she had one of the best arms in the neighborhood. In high school, her creative spirit took center stage. She performed in The King and I, Oliver Twist, and Fiddler on the Roof. That's where her artistic side flourished, through drawing, painting, and sculpting. She first went to Marywood College to study art, but one summer changed everything. She worked as a counselor at Camp St. Andrew, and that's where her true calling emerged. She discovered a deep passion for helping others, a passion that would lead her to switch her major to social work and to dedicate her life to guiding, healing, and empowering others. After earning her degree, MaryAnne became a mother to her daughter, Lindsay, whom she loved dearly. And MaryAnne made the greatest sacrifice a mother can make and made the decision to place Lindsay up for adoption. Years later, she reconnected with Lindsay with letters and cards and visits, strengthening their lasting bond. MaryAnne continued with her studies and completed her master's degree in social work from Bryn Mawr, continuing to build the foundation of a life defined by care and compassion. John remembers her lifelong love of music, especially Earth, Wind, and Fire. And when he would visit her in Havertown or later in South Philly, they would go to concerts at the Man or spend time on South Street, laughing and reminiscing. And every visit was full of joy. Just being in her company was like coming home. In the late 1980s, on an ordinary bus ride, MaryAnne met someone who would become her sister friend, Michelle Lucetti, the other Michelle. The two sat side by side on a trip home and spent 2 hours talking nonstop about family life and everything in between. They even discovered that they were reading the same self-help book. By the time the bus pulled in, it already felt like they had known each other forever. When MaryAnne mentioned that she wanted to move from Havertown to Center City, Philadelphia, an apartment happened to open up in Michelle's building, 764 South 6th Street, and the rest was history. They became neighbors, confidants, and family, and Michelle says, she was like a sister to me and a partner in crime. She stood by MaryAnne through all of life's chapters, at her wedding and even in the delivery room when Nathan was born. Together, they shared beach vacations in Brigantine, long talks, walks, and laughter-filled evenings. MaryAnne loved to entertain and was an excellent cook, and her home was always open, always warm. She had that rare combination of strength and softness, a friend who would listen deeply, offer wise counsel, and never let you feel alone. Even this past fall, she had called Michelle to plan a road trip to Myrtle Beach, and they were looking forward to a few days by the ocean. Just two lifelong friends still making time for joy, adventure, and connection. Paula Chadwick, one of MaryAnne's former students and friends, first met her 20 years ago when she sat in one of her social work classes at Rutgers. She recalls instantly feeling drawn to MaryAnne's gentle spirit, patient nature, and her deep empathy for others. That first meeting would shape the course of her life. Paula went off to study social work with MaryAnne as both her professor and her supervisor, and they served survivors of domestic violence at the Camden County Women's Center. Paula says, "I tucked myself right under her wing, and there she held me with guidance, advocacy, generosity, kindness, and love." MaryAnne always had time for everyone. Students, clients, colleagues, never rushing and never turning anyone away. She not only taught others how to serve, she showed them how to live with compassion and humility and joy. And over the years, MaryAnne became a mentor and advocate to healer to countless people. Her students, her colleagues, and clients describe her as a light, a gem, a fierce advocate, a lifesaver. They say she was inspirational to so many. She was a wonderful woman and a human being. She changed my life. She saved my life. Her work wasn't just a career, it was a calling. Whether guiding a struggling student, supporting a survivor of violence, or helping a family find its footing, she met people where they were, without judgment, without ego, and offered them the grace to heal and the courage to grow. To everyone that crossed her path, she left something lasting, the knowledge that they mattered, that they were capable of rebuilding, and that kindness still exists in this world. Of all of the roles that she played in life, none was more precious to MaryAnne than being a mother to Nathan and a grandmother to Luna. Nathan describes his mom as the very definition of a caring soul. She had this rare ability to make everyone feel seen, valued, and loved. Through her words, her hugs, or her small acts of kindness that she offered without ever expecting anything in return. She was the quiet strength that held their family together. He remembers how she once stepped up to coach his baseball team, and something that she really never done before. She learned the game from scratch and she poured her heart into it and led the team all the way to the championship. That year, she even won Coach of the Year. That was who she was. When she was committed to something, she gave it her all. Nathan also remembers how much she loved Halloween, and every October, their house transformed into a masterpiece of decorations and laughter and creativity. It just wasn't about spooky fun. It was about togetherness, about building memories that would last forever. And of course, she was a devoted Phillies sports fan. Whether it was the Eagles, Phillies, or Flyers, she was cheering, shouting at the TV, and celebrating every win, and sometimes every loss with full-hearted loyalty. MaryAnne also loved the open road too. Long drives, music blasting, windows down, and discovering new places together. She found joy in the journey itself. And Nathan said it best. My mom gave so much of herself to others, and even now her love continues to live on through us. Her lessons, her laughter, and her spirit will stay with us for the rest of our lives. So, I met MaryAnne when she moved to Leek Street in South Philadelphia, and shortly after she had given birth to Nathan. I was a kid myself when my family and I babysat Nathan, as MaryAnne worked as a single mother. As I got older, I would frequently visit MaryAnne on our block as we shared stories. We cried, we laughed, and always found a way to lift each other up. I found a friend that understood me and supported me. My interest in social justice, in breaking generational trauma, in connecting with others with respect and dignity and empathy, and in dreaming in a better life, for a better life. MaryAnne is part of our family, or how we would call her, MaryAnne. She was present at all of our block parties, our birthdays, my quinceañera, my graduation, my wedding, my baby shower, and mural dedications. My son, Amado, and Luna were just born months apart. And MaryAnne and I would plan outings with our little ones. I would look at my son and Luna and say to MaryAnne, like, what a blessing it is to see our friendship flourish in them, our rays of light. In the past years, I was able to witness how happy she was to return to Dunmore and to be closer with her family in her new home. MaryAnne lived a life that mattered because of the countless people she lifted up along the way. From the little girl racing down on a sled, to the young woman forming lifelong friendships, to the teacher and counselor who helped others find hope, and to the mother and grandmother whose love knew no bounds. She filled every chapter of her life with purpose and heart. And as we say goodbye, we keep her memory alive when we carry her lessons within us. To be kind, to be present, to love deeply, to make time for laughter and joy, and to believe, as she did, that helping one person can change the world.